The mantis shrimp looks like someone designed a crustacean in a fever dream. It sees the world through 16 types of color receptors. Humans manage just 3, meaning it perceives colors we don't even have names for. But its vision isn't even the most alarming thing about it. Its club-like claws strike at roughly 50 miles per hour with an acceleration of 10,000 Gs, generating cavitation bubbles that briefly reach temperatures around 4,000 degrees Celsius, close to the surface of the sun, from a creature you could hold in your hand. That strike hits with around 1,500 newtons of force, enough to shatter aquarium glass, which is why they're kept in specially reinforced tanks. There are 2 types: spearers that impale soft prey, and smashers that punch through crab shells like tissue paper. Discovered in 1998 off the coast of Sulawesi, Indonesia, the mimic octopus doesn't just change color like other octopuses. It transforms into entirely different animals. It can impersonate a lionfish by spreading its arms to replicate venomous spines, flatten its entire body to swim like a flounder, or tuck 6 arms away and wave the remaining 2 to become a banded sea snake. What makes this genuinely unsettling is that it chooses which animal to mimic based on whatever predator is currently threatening it, suggesting a level of contextual decision-making that still isn't fully understood. Scientists have documented it imitating more than 15 different species. It's not camouflage. It's theater, performed by an animal with no bones and a brain wrapped around its throat. Turritopsis dohrnii measures just 4.5 millimeters across, which makes it easy to dismiss until you learn that, under the right conditions, it is biologically immortal. When starving, injured, or old, it reverts entirely back to its juvenile polyp stage through a process called transdifferentiation, where its cells literally change type and rebuild the organism from scratch. It then matures again and again, theoretically without limit. Scientists studying aging have taken serious interest in this process, and the jellyfish has spread across the world's oceans, largely via ship ballast water, meaning it is now quietly everywhere. It's nearly transparent, with a vivid red stomach visible at the center like a tiny glowing coal, and it is, in all likelihood, older than you will ever be. The barrel sponge is not an exciting animal. It doesn't move, hunt, or do anything dramatic. It sits on a reef and filters water, up to 1,000 liters per hour, according to some estimates. And it does this for an extraordinarily long time. Some specimens in the Caribbean are estimated to be over 2,000 years old, earning them the nickname redwoods of the reef. They grow large enough that a human adult can sit inside one, their dark wine-red walls rough as sandpaper, their opening wide as a bathtub. Entire ecosystems of shrimp, fish, and invertebrates live inside large individuals. The barrel sponge was alive before the printing press, before the Black Death, before most of the empires you learned about in school, quietly filtering water the whole time. The pistol shrimp is 3 to 5 centimeters long and produces one of the loudest sounds in the ocean. It does this by snapping an oversized claw so fast that it generates a cavitation bubble, a localized implosion that briefly reaches temperatures estimated at around 8,000 degrees Celsius and produces a snap measuring up to 218 decibels, louder than a gunshot at close range. The shockwave stuns or kills nearby prey instantly. In the Persian Gulf and other shallow tropical waters, the colonies of pistol shrimp are so dense and so constantly snapping that they create a continuous crackling background noise that historically disrupted submarine sonar during World War II. The shrimp itself is unremarkable looking, pale, small, with one absurdly large, bright orange claw, which somehow makes the whole thing more ridiculous. The goblin shark has been largely unchanged for around 125 million years, and looking at it, that's easy to believe. It lives at depths below 1,000 meters. It has translucent pinkish skin through which blood vessels are faintly visible, and a long, flat, blade-like snout packed with electroreceptors for detecting prey in total darkness. Its defining feature is its jaw, which can launch forward out of its face in milliseconds to snatch prey, a mechanism called slingshot feeding, projecting outward by roughly 8 to 10% of its body length. Adults reach up to 3.8 meters. It is rarely encountered alive, and most of what we know comes from specimens hauled up accidentally in deep-sea fishing nets, which means the goblin shark has spent 125 million years largely avoiding our attention and doing quite well. A siphonophore is not one animal. It is a colony of thousands of individual organisms called zooids, each fused together and each performing a single specialized function. Some only sting, some only digest, some only reproduce, some only propel the colony forward. Together, they operate as a single coordinated body. In 2020, a Schmidt Ocean Institute expedition off the coast of Western Australia filmed a specimen of Apolemia siphonophore estimated at 47 meters long, making it the longest animal ever recorded. Longer than a blue whale by a significant margin. The colony drifted through deep blue water as a ghostly, translucent spiral, glowing faint blue-white with bioluminescence. The Portuguese man-of-war is a famous relative. Most people who encounter a siphonophore in the water have no idea what they're looking at, which is reasonable because there is nothing else on Earth quite like it. The barrel-eye fish has a fully transparent, fluid-filled dome for a head. Inside that dome sit two bright green cylindrical eyes that can rotate to look directly upward through its own skull. It lives at depths of 600 to 800 meters in the Pacific, where what little light filters down comes from above, and those upward-pointing eyes are tuned specifically to spot the silhouettes of prey against the faint glow of the surface. The two round spots that look like eyes on the front of its face are actually its nostrils. Scientists at the Monterey Bay Aquarium Research Institute first filmed a living specimen with its dome intact in 2004. Previous catches had always ruptured the soft, transparent tissue, and the footage caused genuine confusion because the fish looks less like an animal and more like a piece of laboratory equipment that somehow learned to swim. The frilled shark has a lineage stretching back roughly 80 million years, and its body has not updated much since then. It moves like an eel, reaching up to 2 meters long, and its mouth contains around 300 trident-shaped teeth arranged in 25 rows, curved inward so that anything that enters has significant difficulty leaving. When hunting, it coils its body like a snake and lunges forward, swallowing prey whole. Its jaw can unhinge similarly to a snake's to accommodate large prey. Perhaps its most remarkable statistic is reproductive. The frilled shark has the longest gestation period of any known vertebrate, with pregnancy reported to last up to 3.5 years. It is rarely seen alive. It lives in deep, cold water, moves slowly, and has spent tens of millions of years being exactly what it is. The sea cucumber is found on ocean floors from shallow reefs down to the deepest trenches, and its primary defense mechanism is expelling its own internal organs. When threatened, it forcibly ejects its digestive system, respiratory organs, or sticky toxic threads called Cuvierian tubules through its body wall, tubules that expand to roughly 20 times their original length in seawater and can immobilize a crab on contact. The organs regenerate within 1 to 5 weeks. Some species breathe through their anus. One species, the pearlfish, lives inside the sea cucumber's cloaca as a permanent resident. None of this seems to inconvenience the sea cucumber, which continues moving slowly across the sea floor eating sediment. It has no brains sophisticated enough to process embarrassment, which, given the circumstances, seems like a genuine evolutionary advantage. The Dumbo octopus is the deepest living octopus known to science. The one specimen was recorded at a depth of 6,957 meters, a pressure roughly 700 times greater than at the surface. It gets its name from two large ear-like fins, one on each side of its mantle, which it flaps gently to fly through the water, rather than using the jet propulsion typical of other octopuses. Unlike its relatives, it swallows prey whole, as its extreme environment leaves little energy for the biting and tearing approach. Its body is soft, semi-transparent, and pale, ghostly white to faint orange-pink, with enormous dark eyes suited to near-total darkness. It moves through water that is just above freezing, under crushing pressure, with almost no company, and it does so with an unhurried calm that, considering its circumstances, borders on the philosophical. The Greenland shark swims at an average speed of around 0.3 miles per hour, making it the slowest shark on record and possibly the oldest living vertebrate on Earth. In 2016, a study led by Julius Nielsen, published in Science, radiocarbon dated the eye lenses of Greenland sharks and estimated one specimen to be approximately 392 years old, meaning it was born around 1620, before Isaac Newton, before the telescope was widely used, before most of the modern world existed. It reaches up to 7 meters long and lives in near-freezing Arctic water. Its flesh contains trimethylamine oxide in concentrations toxic enough to cause neurological symptoms resembling extreme intoxication if eaten fresh, which is why it must be fermented for months before Icelanders consume it as hakarl. Nearly every adult has copepod parasites visibly attached to its milky white eyes. It does not appear to mind. The deep-sea anglerfish is best known for the bioluminescent lure dangling from its forehead, a glowing orb produced by symbiotic bacteria